So the series is basically focused on our two male leads, Zhao Jishu played by Zhang Ziyan and Wen Qixing played by Gong Jun. Let's talk about the Zhao Jishu first. He's an assassin who works under Prince Shin. On the surface, man looks strong, calculative, composed, like nothing can really bother him. But beneath, he is remorseful, regretful, and completely detached. He doesn't want any kind of power. He doesn't want any kind of fame, not a recognition either. He just wants to live a peaceful life for whatever time he has left, which is unfortunately about 3 years. And here comes our Van kissing. Around him, there is no officially peace in Zhao Jisu's dictionary. On the surface, Van kissing looks cool, charming, playful, and completely chaotic. But underneath, he is fire. He is ruthless. I mean, he is such kind of a ferocious character. He was just driven by a revenge. He has actually a tragic past. He has lost his parents at such a young age, at of 9, and nothing else mattered for him. So basically, we have two completely different people. One is like a revenge ridden and ready to do anything to achieve it, and other is regret ridden and willing to do anything to redeem himself. But despite being so different, there is one thing they have painfully in common, that they have both lost something. And Word of Honor basically takes us into the Wuxia martial world, the Xianggu, where politics, power, revenge, and secrets, actually a dark secrets, is basically everywhere. And the center of all this chaos is the glazed armor. Basically, everyone wants to keep that. And भाई, इसके लिए पिछले 20 साल से बस खून खराबा हो रहा है, सब एक दूसरे को मार पीट रहे हैं जस्ट बिकॉज कि उन्हें ग्लेज आर्मर चाहिए. Glazed armor is connected to the legendary armory, which is said to contain weapons powerful enough to change the entire balance of the Xianggu. And isn't it obviously? जब दुनिया को पता ही होगा कि इतना पावर एक जगह छुपा हुआ है तो कौन ही उसको नहीं पाना चाहेगा. Let's talk about the glazed armory first. ये बेसिकली रोंग जुआन और जाओ जिसूस के मास्टर्स के द्वारा बनवाया गया था. और फिर इसका एक चाबी है जो कि ग्लेज्ड आर्मर है, उसको 5 पार्ट में डिवाइड कर दिया गया और 5 अलायंस ब्रदर्स वाले को दे दिया गया, जो कि बेसिकली स्टार्टिंग में दिखाया जाता है 5 ब्रदर्स उसके प्रोटेक्शन के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं. Different sects and clans get involved, everyone has their own agenda, and suddenly the entire Xianggu become a giant mess of alliance. Now here comes our Ghost Valley. It's like filled with some of the most dangerous and ruthless people in the Xianggu, and because of this conflict surrounding Ghost Valley, the glazed armor, the secret of the past, innocent people end up getting dragged into the whole mess. But here the interesting part arrives. This is not just a story about who will get the glazed armor. The deeper you go, the more you realize that almost every character is suffered. Almost everyone is like hiding something. When you will watch the show, you will think, oh, he's a culprit. But just after 2 or 3 minutes, you will realize, oh yeah, I was wrong. Amid of the shows, we have Zhang Changling. He's a noble prince who has actually lost his parent at such a young age. And somehow he is stuck between Wen Qixing and Zhao Jishu, and later become one of the most important character between these two. स्टार्टिंग में हमें दिखाया जाता है कि जाओ जिशु अपना क्लैन विंडोज ऑफ हेवन को छोड़ देता है और जस्ट बिकॉज इसके पास सिर्फ 3 साल जीने को बचा है तो लाइक हो गया, बहुत हो गया, अब बस पीस में जीना है. सो ही केम टू Xianggu, changes his appearance little so that nobody could recognize him, and settle himself in the corner of a street just like a roadside bhikmanga. Just a little distance away, we see a man and woman sitting next to each other. The man is wearing a silver robe and woman is wearing a purple robe. Obviously, our flirting, a shameless king Wen Qixing has entered the scene. The girl who is sitting next to Wen Qixing is Gu Xiang. She is actually a Wen Qixing servant, and she points to our Zhao Jishu and basically says, "Master, look, there is a beggar sitting over there." But what? He doesn't even have a ball. And Wen Qixing, without even looking properly, man literally casually says he is sunbathing. And the most funny part is that he didn't even say it loudly, but our Zhao Jishu heard it. I mean, बेचारे Zhao Jishu को कोई सही से गरीब भी बनने नहीं दे रहा है, वो सिर्फ धूप सेकना चाहता है, but still वो धूप सेकने में भी बहुत दिक्कत है. And then their eyes met. Honestly, the first eye contact, that the sparkling chemistry, that was really something, and the chemistry was already suspicious from the very first met. And just after their first met, Van Kissing literally stalked him everywhere. Zhao Jisu's entire attitude was basically, please leave me alone. But Van Kissing was apparently too deaf to hear that. Their chaotic banter is one of my most favorite part of this drama. I mean, they keep getting me engaged throughout the scene, and the flirting level of our Van Kissing is I'm taking the lessons. There is a scene where Zhao Jesus is just sitting beside the fire minding his own business, and Van Kissing is sitting there continuously staring at him, not even trying to hide it. I mean, bro has suddenly forgotten that other direction still exists. And then Van Kissing basically says ki I don't know more about you, but I am sure about the appearance that you have changed it. And Zhao Jesus casually said, is it pretty? And then our Van Kissing says with a playful smile, it's perfect. I mean, Master Van, please have a mercy on us. Singles are still trying to watch the show. And honestly, this man is the ultimate king of shameless flirting. Their chemistry was so obvious that sometimes I genuinely wondered, are these two flirting or are they trying to personally challenge the Chinese censorship? Slowly we see that characters started understanding each other. Zhao Jushu started understanding that Wen Kexing is not simply some shamelessness, carefree man who does whatever he wants. There is actually a reason behind everything he does. Underneath all the charms and teasing, he is a broken soul. Someone who is also carrying an enormous amount of pain. And despite being completely consumed by revenge, Wen Kexing is not completely heartless. Whenever innocent people get dragged into his revenge, you can see that remorse. And that's the moment Zhao Jishu start realizing and start watching and start seeing the real Van Kissing. Not just that annoying man who is constantly following him around, but someone who just like him is desperately looking for something that is peace. Word of Honor is definitely not just about these two boys casually making fun of each other really and living a peaceful life. It's more about the underneath chaos. There is pretty dark Xiangyu. We have got Ghost Valley conflicts, political games, betrayals, revenge, hidden and identities, and ultimately a lot of trauma. On the surface, almost everyone seems normal, but the deeper you dive into their character stories, the more you realize almost everyone is carrying something. Some are driven by revenge, some are driven by greed, some by loyalty, and some are simply trying to survive the consequences of what happened to them. They are not simply good people versus bad people. A lot of them are morally complicated. One thing I like about this drama, beside the main lead chemistry, and that we have the visual presentation, the costume, the makeup, the overall theme, the scenery. And if I talk about the costume, especially the costume of all the characters were too good. Especially the costume of our Wenke Zing. That red costume of him. I mean, I just can't explain in words. It was too good. His red eyeliner is just fun to watch. The shift in his expression from a chaotic to a complete blast. It was, I mean, a sudden drift. And most importantly, the fight scene. Because whenever a fight scene era starts in Word of Honor, I'm like, okay, I'm invested again. I mean, I just kinda like those men flying in the sky, swords in the sky. I just like two men fighting with each other. And honestly, the action sequences are one of those things that kept me hooked throughout the drama. Psychological balance between the two main lead characters was just amazing. It was just started from a curiosity, then led to a subtle eye tone, then led to the and then it was turned into a ultimate devotion. If you will watch the show, you will realize there is a scene, those moments. There are those moments later in the story where their bond reaches a point when they're genuinely willing to put their lives on the line for each other. And honestly, this moment doesn't even need a confession. It was actually not a bromance. It was less than BL and more than bromance. One more thing I like about this drama is the relationship between the Xiang and the Master Wen. Brother and sister relationship was just amazing. Wen Kissing is like on the surface he didn't care about her at all, but it was already clear from very first episode how much he appreciates and how much he loves her. Obviously, Word of Honor was not perfect. It was definitely have a flaws. The things I don't like about this drama is the pace imbalance. Starting you will watch the show, it feels like they are too stretching the show, which was practically unimportant, but I can understand because it was first decided to have the of complete 40 episodes. Having a small production, they still gave their best. The story feels too stretched for me, and later they rushed the part. So they were literally adding multiple minor clan sects like that was unnecessarily. They definitely don't align with the main lead's character. One thing I literally dislike about this drama, that main leads were literally not doing anything at the front. They were watching from the back seat. The entire multi faction was revolving around opening the legendary armory to obtain ultimate martial arts power. And it is finally opened in the final, discovering that it is mostly full of agricultural seeds, grain. They definitely have editing issues because when you will watch the show, scenes were frequently cut away abruptly in the mid conversation. My final rating for the Word of Honor would be 8.5 out of 10. I mean, the actors were definitely good, especially the main actors were definitely amazing. Second, the acting was top notch. There was definitely a chemistry was incredibly electrifying, and honestly even the child actor did a really great job. The characters are memorable, the chemistry is unforgettable, and the action keeps you hooked, and the overall atmosphere of the drama is something I generally enjoyed. And then we have the ending. It's a bittersweet, and honestly I think that's the part of beautiful Chinese fantasy drama. They don't always give you a perfect happy ending. Sometimes they leave you with a little trauma, just enough to make sure you remember the drama long after you have finished it. So I think the story could have been better, especially with the member of sects, complicated politics, the stories with the plots and especially the pacings. Even with all that, Word of Honor is still a drama I would recommend. So this is all for today. And before you leave, let me know in the comment section which when flirting lines actually makes your cheeks turns red. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.